You're listening to First Bitch of the Day with Joe Paradise and the KEMPIRE here on KEMPIRE Radio.
Yeah. Oh no, we can't sing in it.
Keep going.
Oh, oh my God! What a morning this has been already.
Oh my god. Well, I think we should first introduce the show,
Oh,
Joe Paradise.
they should know us by now.
Oh, really?
This is our third season.
Well, let's reintroduce ourselves. You guys are listening to First Bitch of the Day with Joe Paradise and the KEMPIRE. Only reason why his name is first is because he gave a bitch fit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Joe, we want to introduce people to the show. We want them to know, this is where they can share their thoughts on anything. Well, not their thoughts, our thoughts. It's our podcast.
They're listening to us. You are our victims for the next hour, right? That's how long we're gonna be doing this show for,
or forever. How long we're able to bitch for. So, it's been a very interesting week of just so many different hot topics. The first bitch of the day is going to include so many different things that you guys are talking about, that you email us about, that you tweet us about, but also it's going to include what we are bitching about during the week. So, what's the first bitch of the day, Joe?
Oh my God! Have you listened to this Meek Mill's diss track?
I have listened to it, and I would like to have those few minutes of my life back.
Yeah, I actually listened to it twice. I have no idea why. I just want, why I listened to it twice? Just because the whole thing with the WWE going on now, and they're suing him, the Undertaker, because I guess apparently that was the Undertaker song when he's walking into the ring. So I had to catch that again for the second time because I didn't catch that the first time. But that song is trash. It hurted my ears. I mean, I was expecting so much more from Meek Mills. He's just really, really disappointed.
Well, I think we need to give them a little bit of background. For those that have been sitting under a rock for the last week, this whole beef between Meek Mill and Drake began because Meek was having some sort of Twitter tantrum several days ago.
He was having a bitch.
Yeah, he was having a bitch. He was having a bitchy moment. And pretty much what he was saying was that Drake did not write his rhymes on a song that he did for Meek's album, and he said he actually called Drake out and said that this I forgot the guy's name, Quentin something, wrote like that song 10 Bands for Drake. So of course, that's a huge insult in the hip hop world to accuse another rapper of not writing their own rhymes.
Yeah.
So that led Drake to release Charged Up, which was a diss track towards Meek. But Drake didn't stop there. Drake released another track, back to back, another diss track towards Meek. I'm just gonna read a couple of the lyrics, Joe, if you don't mind. So he starts out, he says, "Yeah, I learned the game from William Wesley. You can never check me. Back to back for the..." And look, I can't say the N-word here on this podcast. Back to back for the ends that didn't get the message. Back to back, I'm on the cover of Lethal Weapon. Back to back like I'm Jordan 96, 97. Whoa, very important and very pretentious. When I look back, I might be mad that I gave this attention. But that's not where it gets really juicy. It gets really juicy. And this is the funny part, is when he says, "You gonna make me step out of my effing frame. You gonna make me buy bottles for Charlemagne." If you guys don't know who Charlemagne is, Charlemagne the God from Power 105's The Breakfast Club. What he ended up doing, Joe, was after he released this diss track to Meek, he ended up sending Dom Perignon to the radio station here in New York. 6 bottles. Dom Perignon is very expensive. And he sent it to Charlemagne. And Charlemagne posted a video of it in the studio after this diss track was released. So Drake is not playing when he released, first of all, not one track, but 2 tracks. And then actually the second track was so much better than the first track. Do you agree?
The second one?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Back to back. I was like jamming to it. I'm like, where is it on iTunes? I want to download it right now. It was such a good track. And it's so funny to think too, like originally though, Meek Mills was really upset first because Drake didn't tweet his album. That's what originally like led to all this too. It's kind of like
that was kind of insane. Like, okay, you that pissed off because Drake is a busy man. He's not on his Twitter tweeting like that. Or maybe he is. Maybe that's what pissed him off. He's like, you tweeting about all this other mess, you ain't tweeting my album.
And it's funny because we waited like how long when Drake released Back to Back, Meek Mills waited a whole week to actually come back with a song "Wanna Know."
Yeah, it took him a while. While. Well, my other favorite line from Back to Back, Drake's Meek Mill diss song was when he sort of brings up Nicki Minaj, but he doesn't throw her under the bus. He says, "You love her, then you got to give the world to her. Is that a world tour or your girls tour?" Because Meek is on tour with Nicki Minaj, but it's Nicki Minaj's the Pink Print tour.
Yeah, I didn't even know he was on tour with her, to be honest with you, until like this whole beef started up. I'm like, oh, okay. I thought he was just kind of like her groupie.
Well, he's opening for Nicki Minaj on the Pink Print tour.
Yeah, that's a good look for Meek. That's for sure.
Well, I don't know if it's a good look anymore.
Well, not anymore. His career is going down the drain. It's like Charlemagne even gave him the donkey of the day. And it's the thing, Charlemagne was actually backing Meek Mill's up throughout this whole thing, like on Meek Mill's side. And just to hear him the other day actually give him the donkey of the day, he is no longer Team Meek Mills. That is for sure. Not after this track. And I don't think he has a chance to even come back. Nobody wants to hear it. Nobody wants to hear another like Let It Go. Just let it go.
Well, it's so funny because, Charlemagne, he's never been a fan of Drake. But what he does like is that Drake responded, because hip-hop has always been about these diss tracks. When someone questions your skill in hip-hop, and I'm not a hip-hop head, so don't judge me, those that are listening, but I do know the culture. And, what Drake did with, Charged Up and Back to Back was really get people excited about hip hop again, because people really did question Drake's ability after the minute you say, oh, he has people writing his own tracks. Drake is known for his clever lyrics and things like that, and he proved his skill. Even though he could have had someone write these for him as well, but he proved his skill, but he took it up a whole other level. Because back in the day, it just used to be about the raps. The picture on Back to Back was when the Toronto baseball team beat the Phillies baseball team, where Phillies where Meek is from. So like he's sending bottles to Charlemagne. Like he just took it to a whole other level of hip hop culture. It's not just about coming out with the hottest rap, but he's gonna show like not only am I a hot rapper, but I also have the coins to back that up.
Mm-hmm.
But Meek Mill's song "Wanna Know." Let's talk about those lyrics. I'm not reading those lyrics.
Can we read one lyric though at the end? Well,
okay.
The only part he really came at Dre, even brought anything to light, was I'm gonna read these lyrics right here. It's actually in the outro. He goes, "You let Tip Homie piss on you in the movie theater. Beep. We ain't forget. Real beeps got back in style. This shit is lit. This that Ja Rule shit and 50 Cent." So he's basically saying there that one of T.I.'s, I guess back in 2010, they went to a private screening of the movie, one of the movies like starring Matt Dillon or something. I guess apparently one of T.I.'s friends got mad at Drake about something and actually pissed on him in the movie theater. So I thought that was kind of funny, but it was just a really quick kind of thrown in there at the last of the song. And it's like, dude, seriously? That's all you got?
I know, and it's so funny because there were people tweeting, people tweet and post on Facebook like crazy now about their opinions. And a lot of people were saying, like, there's so much stuff in Meek's Wanna Know that maybe like inside jokes or inside stories that no one understands. No one understands this at all.
Mm-mm.
You know what I mean? So it wasn't strong enough, but Meek, people have been saying Meek is not known for his clever raps. He's not known to be a clever rapper. He's supposed to be like a street rapper.
Yeah.
So no one really expected him to come up with anything great anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But What do you think should happen now? Do you think Drake should put out like another track to just seal the deal?
I think at this point Drake really has nothing to prove.
At all.
I don't know if you got to see after this Meek Mill song "Wanna Know" came out. Drake posted a picture onto Instagram of him like with a phone in his hand and like laughing back. So I'm taking that as Drake is actually laughing at him and doesn't obviously have to prove anything else.
At all. He definitely doesn't have to prove anything. It's I don't know. The funny part about this whole hip hop culture and coming at each other, I not in the past I've never seen it as something as ruining someone's career. Some of the biggest beef in hip hop, Biggie versus Tupac or Nas versus Jay-Z. It didn't. The Tupac and Biggie situation, that was.
I was gonna say. I'm like, I think that's a little.
That was a whole nother level.
Yeah.
But the Nas and Jay-Z situation, that didn't ruin anyone's career, did it?
No, not at all.
Do you think this is going to ruin Meek's career?
Yes.
You said yes.
It's like, it took him so long to get where he's at in his career right now. And I know, obviously he's with Nicki Minaj and everything like that. That's helping him out, shine a little bit or have a bigger of a spotlight. But he seriously took this spotlight that he had and threw it in the garbage.
Wow.
Like, wrapped it up in a bow and just handed it over to Drake. Like, here you go. Here's my career. When nobody even came from him, in the beginning. So he started it. He couldn't end it. Drake ended it. What can we say?
Nothing at this point. But I really looked at all of this. I was like, wow. Drake came back so strong. Then Meek released the Wanna Know, and it's like, and then there's but the difference between, the beasts of the hip hop culture from the past is that now social media is so powerful, and memes are so strong, and they spread like wildfire. There's so many memes about Meek right now that I just feel like he's the laughing stock of hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
I really would like to see the numbers. Like, is this beef helping his numbers or is this hurting his numbers?
I guess the time will tell when it comes to that. He's gonna have to do a lot of work to get back in the game and for people to take him seriously at this point. He has lost a lot of respect from a lot of fans. That were expecting so much from him, and it's exactly like you said. Like 1 minute you could do something, and it spreads so quickly online. Look, you just see the impact it does.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
The memes though, the memes are hilarious. The memes are just. People are so creative, and I always say this. I was like, if people took the amount of creativity that they put into these different memes and different things that they post online, I'm like, they could rule the world.
Mm-hmm.
If
we
only.
live for this. Everyone lives for this stuff.
Apparently. Oh, if you guys just really, Joel?
I had to pour some tea.
Are you pouring out a 40 for Meek Mill's career?
Yeah, exactly. Rest in peace, my homie Meek Mill.
Oh my god.
Now, how do you think that Nicki Minaj feels in this whole situation? Because once again, like, she's a big hip hop star. She's, is it gonna hurt her at all? Do you think in the game?
Well, can we missed one of the biggest hip hop tracks to drop this week. We forgot to mention it.
Which was
Lifeline by Scaff Beezy. Nicki Minaj's ex-boyfriend of 10 years.
Safari?
Yes.
He released another song?
No.
I heard I keep seeing everything online about his diss track, I guess against Nicki Minaj, and bringing out, the plunger, let's just say. I did not get to hear it yet, so I heard that it's better than Meek Mill's, or not really. I don't even know. Have you listened to it yet?
I've listened to it. Okay, so this is the thing. I mean, first of all, there's a video also out allegedly of Safari popping it and twerking it.
Wait, he's twerking?
Kind of, sort of, like reggae music. allegedly this is a video of him. You can Google it online. So he had that come out, and then he had this whole Lifeline diss track towards Nicki Minaj, claiming that he ghost wrote for her project and has ghost written for her in the past. Nicki Minaj responded at one of her concerts saying like he doesn't have the effing intellect to write her rhymes. He still stands by that he wrote some of her rhymes and he ghost wrote for her projects. I mean, like I said, in hip hop, to say that someone doesn't write their own rhymes is like the biggest insult. But in reality, does it really matter? Does it bother you that someone may have written for Drake or Nicki Minaj?
Not necessarily. I mean, most of it should be written by the hip hop artists, because it goes back to like underground and just the world that it came from. But I do not mind if somebody steps in and helps out with lyrics and stuff like that, because nobody's perfect and you need editors, you need people to help you out in songs. You look at how many writers Beyonce has in her album, you know. I know rap is totally different than like singing or song, but I don't mind at all. I'm not gonna look at the artist any less, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I don't see any problem with Nicki Minaj or Drake having someone write their rhymes or whatever it may be. I mean, they're still good at what they do, so I mean, I have no problems with that. But yeah, so Safari in the song claims that he mentions all different kinds of things. But my thing is, and which would be good if you had heard the song, Joe, but he rhymes a lot like her in the song, but it sounds so, for lack of a better word, stupid. Mm-hmm. He sounds ridiculous. He sounds like a terrible rapper. I hope he's not really trying to pursue a career as a rapper. Mm-hmm. Because it just seems really awkward. Like I think I might have heard a clip now, because I saw like a meme or something, and it was a picture of him, like if it was him rapping, but it sounded too funny to me that I didn't think it was him. I really need to listen to this track. You can listen to while we're on the show. It's that kind of show. No, but yeah. So his skill as a rapper is terrible. If he has ghost written for her before, maybe he's just a better writer and he should just continue ghost writing for artists. But when I saw his interview on The Breakfast Club several months ago after he had broken up with Nicki Minaj, he just seemed like he kept on doing this during the interview. Like popping his I was like, what are you doing? Like he seemed really I was like, Nicki, really? This is the type of dude that you're dating? He seems like, not that he seems like a punk. He just seems real touched. Yeah. If you get what I mean. Mm-hmm. Like he just seemed like he didn't seem like strong enough to be Nicki Minaj's man.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Like Meek seems a little bit stronger, but I don't know after this whole situation if this relationship can survive, but we can talk about that in a couple of minutes.
So in a sense, I think going back to back, mm-hmm. Drake even says in the song Mick towards Mick, Nicki Minaj was looking for a man, right? Something mm-hmm. like, oh, we know Nicki Minaj was looking for a man. So was he trying to like take a hit at Safari too, saying like Safari wasn't a man?
I didn't think about that. You're probably right. I don't know. Safari to me just like, I'm like, Nicki, I don't want you to get back with Safari, and then I don't want you to stay with Meek, because they all seem, and Nicki seems like she's just, she was in a 10-year relationship with Safari, so you could definitely tell that she's a relationship type of girl. So it's no surprise that she has rebounded to Meek and it's gotten all kissy face and whatnot with him on social media.
And so quickly, too, because to be honest with you, in the beginning, when Nicki Minaj first came out, and I seen Safari as her, like, hype man. Like, mm-hmm. I remember him being on stage, right by her, mm-hmm. and I just thought that's all he was, a mm-hmm. hype man. I did not know they were even together.
Yeah.
I think until they broke up.
Yeah, and it's funny because she really kept that relationship so private, so to see her so open and on social media with me, it seems first of all, I didn't like it. I kind of liked that she kept her private life private.
Yeah.
So to see her kind of like going back at it with Safari, having her relationship with Meek out here, going crazy with that, just seems really it's really uncomfortable for me.
Yeah, it went from one extreme to the next. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm so private. Oh, now I'm gonna be so open. It's just too much.
Yeah, it was too much. It's almost like Ciara, but that's a whole nother bitch fit we can go on about.
That's another hour.
That's a whole other hour. Ciara's career, but it reminds me very much of Ciara's. And you guys remember Ciara? She was very private with her private life, and then her relationship with Future was so out there, and she was just everywhere with it. Do you think though part of the reason why they do that isn't because of they just changed their mind? It's more like for publicity.
I think at the end of the day, okay, now we're talking about Ciara. Yeah, Ciara does some things more for publicity.
Mm-hmm.
She loves the fame. She loves to be a celebrity. I mean, it's known. It's a known fact.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as it being, I don't know. It's wait.
Who's Ciara?
Sorry, Carlos just walked through the door.
Hi, Carlos.
Hey!
He says, "Hey." Yeah, I feel like relationships should be private, but a lot of times these celebrities they love to show off. Like recently with Mariah, on going on that cruise with that billionaire guy from Australia. It's like all over TMZ. You see the relationships everywhere. It's like it seems like now than more than before, celebrities are putting their relationships out there.
I'm more okay with Mariah putting her relationship out there with the billionaire because she needed something to kind of throw in Nick's face. Because it was really looking for a minute there, like, oh, poor Mariah, she's gaining weight, she's lonely.
Who's gonna want her?
Yeah, so it really was starting to look bad. I mean, he's not the best looking, but money can make anyone look better.
I don't think he looks that bad, to be honest.
I mean, he doesn't, but he's not the best looking.
Yeah, but then again, looking at Canon.
Yeah. How do we even get on the topic? We went from Meek Mill versus Drake to Nicki Minaj to Ciara, now to Mariah.
It's just all these celebrities are just doing way too much right now, so it's hard to keep up.
It's hard to keep up. But let's talk about the relationships. Before we started doing this, if you guys just tuned in, this is of course first bitch of the day with Joe Paradise and the KEMPIRE, and we're just bitch fitting. And my bitch of the day, so Joe's bitch of the day was about Meek Mill versus Drake. My bitch of the day has to do with this story that Nicki Minaj has broken up with Meek Mill, allegedly. Did you hear this?
Yeah, it's been swirling online. I first heard it from Media Takeout, actually.
Is that what you read? Is that your newspaper?
I just started following them. I don't know why, but I kind of regret it. I might have to hit the unlike button soon. But yeah, I did hear it on there. Rumors swirling that Nicki Minaj was gonna break up with Meek, and I wouldn't know where to put my head if I was her. So I don't see anything wrong. I think it's like you said earlier. She needs to take that time. She just got out of like a 11-year relationship. Then she jumps in with Meek Mills. It's in everybody's face. She just needs to take this time for herself and just really focus on her career.
Yeah. Well, it's so funny because, I really try not to believe the hype of stories that, that just start to go viral on the internet. And I saw that story and I was like, I don't believe that. Mm-hmm. Like, did she really break up with Meek just because of this whole drama? I would hope that she has a little bit more, a little bit more love, because my thing is that she really did break up with Meek because of this. Then did she really love him? Or was this for publicity? What would you do? And this leads to the other question. Let's bring it in layman's terms. Let's put it in real life situations. Would you break up with someone that you're dating if they don't get along with your best friend?
I think I would want the person I'm with. my partner to be friends with my friends, but not too close of a friend. But I want them to all get along. If I'm dating somebody, if I'm really with somebody and I love somebody, and
Oh, hell.
and I would not break up with them if I don't think I'll break up with them if my friend didn't get along with them. I would just try to
But no, let's put it in like a reality situation where not just not get along. Let's say there's true beef, like they've gotten into a fight, a physical fight. Even though that's not what happened with Meek Mill and Drake, but let's say it's on that level where like it got to like heated. It's not that they just don't like each other. It got into like a fight.
I guess at that point I would have to evaluate my friendship or the person I'm with, because then I will have to. You will have to choose sides.
Yeah.
I think at that point,
Yeah.
and if the relationship was sustained, or if she loves him enough, and if the relationship was true, I think she'll stay by her man's side. I mean, if her breaking up with him, obviously it shows there was no love there.
Well, I mean, I can see that's the thing with my brain. So it's hard for me to make a decision or pick a side sometimes, because part of me says they just started going out. They haven't been together that long.
Yeah.
So yeah, you could drop. You probably she's known Drake how many years? And we don't know the level of their friendship. We don't. You know what I mean? They could be really, really tight friends and been friends for a very long time.
Yeah. Do you think that she's mad at Drake throughout this whole situation? I don't think she could be mad at Drake.
She can't be mad at Drake. She can't. Drake didn't do anything. Drake just did what he was supposed to do because he's a man and he had to defend himself, in hip hop. Mm-hmm. He's on a certain level. If he didn't respond, people would have been looking at Drake like he was crazy. Mm-hmm. But but the other side of that is, at the end of the day, Drake is not in her bed keeping her warm at night. You know what I mean? If she sees a real future with Meek, like a real future, I mean, I can see her making that decision. Like, no, I'm going to stay with Meek because I see a future with this. I'm not sleeping with Drake. Drake ain't,
Yeah.
He's not going to always be there. He's not always there now.
Yeah, my point exactly.
But like I said, if you put it in real life terms where, let's say you have a best friend and that best friend's been your best friend for countless decades, whatever it may be, and you start dating someone new, I don't know. I can see both sides of it where you're like, what, I'm not going to end this with this new person just because they're not getting along with my friend.
How long has Meek Mills and Nicki actually been dating? Anyways, it's just been months, right?
It's been months. It hasn't been
so
a year.
all that it comes out to light in the beginning of a relationship. So it's the ball's in her court, and okay, is this something I want to continue on with? Is this worth it? I'm gonna lose these friendships, and all that you find out, and in the beginning and everything. Everything has just been accelerated for us because they're been in our face so much as a couple, but at the end of the day, their length of that relationship hasn't been that long. So if her to leave it at this point, I don't think
I honestly don't believe the story. I know everyone's running with the story and saying that she's broken up with him, that he's going to continue with the tour, but she's broken up with him. I don't believe the story, but I thought it was an interesting concept because you do see these in real life situations, not on a public scale, where you do have your friends and then you have your relationship, and then what do you do if your friendships don't mingle well with your relationship?
Yeah, it's like, what do you do?
I'm lucky I never had that situation.
Yeah, I'm trying to think back at a moment, and I've been pretty lucky in that sense. If at least in my current relationship now that they get along with my friends, because I don't know what I would do if he said say goodbye to my friends. By the way, everybody, near me is my boyfriend Carlos.
Hey, Carlos.
Hey.
Carlos is in the room.
Carlos is making his first bitch of the day debut.
Yes.
No, but it really is an interesting concept because like I was saying, I think I'm strongly the advocate of your friendships are important and you do want your friends to be there, But if your friends really do value and love you, that they will allow you to figure out whatever your relationship is, and not really be like, oh, upset if you decide you're like, I'm gonna focus on my relationship. I'm still friends with you, and maybe what we need to do is just hang out separately so there is no beef.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Because I take that back. That has happened to me with other friends where they've decided to be in the relationship and kind of put our friendship on the side.
Yeah.
But not only have they put the friendship on the side, they've completely kind of just put it and left it to die.
Oh, see, yeah.
Yeah, you can't do that.
You can't do that.
You have to be able to, like, you know what, I have my relationship here. I know you don't like, who I'm dating, but let's just do our own thing every once in a while here.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, if let's put it back an example, Drake and Meek Mills and Nicki, they all don't have to go on like a triple Drake date or anything like that.
Well, I mean, if they're into that, that's a whole nother topic. I recently saw this online, a thruple. You know what a thruple is?
A throuple?
Yes.
No.
A thruple is 3 people in a relationship.
Oh, kind of like the Sister Wives.
Kinda, yeah.
A polygamous relationship, or is it more? Are they all 3 together?
I don't think they consider themselves polygamous. Like I was just watching the show on ABC, Mistresses. They have a situation like that. Then I saw this also online one day, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, is this a thing? This is becoming popular." And they're not really calling it polygamy. They're calling it, even though it is, they're calling it thruple, where they're like on the show Mistresses, there's the wife and the husband, and then they bring this woman in, and she's part of their relationship, so she's having the same emotional ties to them. They're going out on dates together. So it's not like just a threesome, it's really like a relationship. I don't know. Would that work for you?
That would not work for me, no.
Why not?
It's hard enough with one.
Oh, damn. You know,
in a good way.
I mean, the thing with that, and I've always said this, and it's so funny because I remember on Sex and the City, they said if you're ever going to be in a threesome, you should always be the guest. You should never be the one. It should never be your relationship that's getting involved in something like that.
Yeah,
so
I've met couples like that before that they like guests to be part of their situation. I'm like, oh, okay, nice for you guys. I don't know if they were trying to do an open invite or anything, but
it was an invitation.
I have met couples, and actually they've been together, and from what I've seen online, they're still together. This is like 10 years ago, so I'm like, okay, I guess it works for some people, right?
Yeah. I mean, I've seen it a lot. I've definitely seen that, and to be honest, I've actually seen a lot of it in gay relationships. Even though I know it happens in straight relationships as well, but I've definitely seen it a lot in gay relationships that have like open relationships. I know for me, and I've probably known this a very long time, I'm too jealous to share who I'm with. And I'm not saying that won't change in the next 10 years, because a lot of things that I used to say 10 years ago, I don't necessarily believe now. But that, to me, would be very hard to share someone that I'm with.
Yeah, I couldn't do it.
But a thruple's a little different. As we go back to thruple.
I'm still trying to understand this thruple.
A thruple is like a real relationship. Like all 3 people are in a relationship. So when they say like that's my boyfriend, that's my girlfriend, or that's my boyfriend and my boyfriend, or my girlfriend and my girlfriend.
Oh wow!
So it's like it's not just a threesome, it's a relationship.
It's like there's my men.
Right over there.
You be definitely calling them baby. Hey, baby.
Oh my god. I don't know. I mean, it's interesting.
That means 2, twice. You have to give 2 Christmas presents. There's 2 birthdays that year, like 2 Valentines. Yeah.
But but the other side of that is that you have emotional outlets to 2 different people.
Yeah.
And sometimes you need that.
And now, is that possible though? Is that possible to be in love with 2 people?
That's another question. Do you think it's possible to be in love with more than one person at one time?
I think it is possible if you let it be possible. You know?
Anything's possible then.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
think
I'm glad that's never happened to me, but the perfect example of that was Chris Brown, Karrueche Tran, and Rihanna. Because remember, he did that video where he said he's in love with 2 women.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, I honestly don't know.
And I honestly believed him that I think he was. I think to this day he's still in love with Rihanna. I think if Rihanna was to say, "Let's try this one more time," he'll be there.
Can you say it in Rihanna's accent?
I was trying to. Oh wait, Chris. I don't know, Chris. I'm from Barbados. We don't do that.
I don't know. I mean, a throuple would between Drake, Meek. No, that wouldn't work.
Yeah.
No, that's not going to work. So if you guys just, for the very first time have heard of a throuple, I hope you learned something new from us today.
I know I did.
Throuple. And that's what we hope to bring on the first bitch of the day. New terms, new ideas, and of course, things that we're complaining about for the week.
You know what? We should bring that suggestion to them. Maybe they should just be in a throuple relationship.
Oh God, Meek, Drake, and Nicki.
Because maybe secretly, Meek is in love with Drake. Maybe that's where everything's stemming from, and he's jealous of Nicki Minaj.
I definitely think Meek was in his feelings. I think he's more sensitive than he is a street rapper. He was calling out Drake as being very sensitive, but he seems more sensitive than anything because Drake didn't tweet your album. I don't know if that would have helped sales. I mean, I'm sure it could have helped. It could have helped, but I'm sure a lot of people that follow Drake's music is not going to go out and buy a Meek album.
Yeah, no.
I know I'm not.
Different fan base, different situation.
It's very sad. I think it's very sad. I don't think Meek... I mean, I've had those moments. Have you had those moments where you go on social media and you just have a rant? You just want to share, like, your bitch of the day? Like we're doing here? Like, have you ever had that moment?
Of course, all the time. I'm always looking for that outlet, and then I'll write a status about bitching about something, and I'm like, let me take it back.
Well, Meek didn't. And the thing about Twitter, though, you can't post it on Twitter and take it back because it's there for infamy. Even if you delete it.
Forever. Even text, even like when you delete a text, jump into a different topic real quick. I don't know if you hear about that guy, Jared. I think his name is Jared from Subway.
Yeah.
And they discover, I guess, a text that he sent like back in 2010 or something, like 6 years ago. A text from like 6 years ago, confirming that he had sex with a 16-year-old.
For like $100, right?
Yeah, exactly, for like $100, like, confirming, because I guess he went on the site, I think Craigslist or something, asking a woman to find another man so he can watch them have sex, and the same, text was confirming of the 16-year-old. So now he's back in the investigation, I guess.
Well, it's so funny because, if you guys have been following, Jared, who lost all this weight from eating Subway sandwiches, for those that don't know who Jared is, the Subway spokesman, no longer the Subway spokesman, the FBI had ransacked his home because one of the people working within his company was accused of child pornography and things like that. But they were saying that Jared had nothing to do with it. But now these text messages have come out. So it's interesting to see how, like, this is unfolding. But I always thought in my head, too, like, if you have this person working under you, at some level, that this person, something's not right with this person, so maybe something's not right with you either. Maybe. I mean, I don't know the level of, there are people that work for you that you don't control what they do. But I'm just kind of thinking now, now these text messages are coming out as well about you. Yeah.
That's crazy.
But the other side of that, they're saying that the legal consent for, I forgot what state that Jared lives in, they said the legal consent for a teen would be 16. So technically he wouldn't be breaking the law.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because the person was consent to it. Yeah, that is true. There are some states that that it is that. Wow, that's crazy. So he might get out of this one, but he's no longer the spokesman for Subway. Anyways, they fired his ass.
Well, the other issue might be the fact that he was trying to buy sex. Prostitution is not legal in that state. So, Jared,
you know what? You know how many footlongs I could buy with $100?
Oh God, I never liked Subway. I'm not a big sandwich eater.
Yeah, I'm not a fan either. To be honest with you, I'd rather have Wawa's. Wawa's a gas station out here that they have like sub shops inside. So I'd rather eat a Wawa sandwich than go to Subway.
No offense, Subway. Don't sue us.
I know. We still want your endorsement. Sorry.
I don't think they're gonna give us an endorsement after this conversation. I don't think that's gonna happen. But that's fine because it doesn't look good for Subway because supposedly the whole situation about the text messaging, supposedly a complaint was made to Subway about this whole situation in Jared, and they allegedly didn't do anything about it. So Subway might be having another lawsuit or issue against them.
But okay, so complain how? I saw that story, but I really didn't get it.
Well, they were saying that the person that he had contacted to get the other girl was actually a Subway employee.
Oh, okay.
If I'm getting the story right, and those that are listening, if we're getting the story wrong, we apologize. We don't have all the facts. Joel brought this up, and we didn't prepare for this. We're unprepared.
You know how this? You know me, improv.
I mean, luckily I read that story earlier.
Okay, so originally she wasn't part of it. He was just kind of like telling her, "I want you to do this."
Have you seen Jared? Those that are listening, have you seen Jared? Jared does look odd.
Yeah, I even thought that before.
So it's kind of like, none of this is surprising to me, but you should never judge a book by its cover. But sometimes the cover does look like the pages inside.
Now, do you think that people will actually stop going to Subway or turned off from Subway because of the situation?
People will, if they find that Subway knew about something and didn't do anything, there will be some sort of backlash against Subway.
So that's why it's so, this situation now with the girl accusing Subway of the complaint and nothing being followed through, it is a pretty big deal then.
Yeah, it might be an issue for them because especially if you have different groups coming together saying to boycott Subway because of this, people will. I mean, the cheap people that want their $5 foot long might look cheaper past it. But it could be, you just don't want to risk it. Especially for Subway, and that's part of the reason why they let Jared go. You know what I mean? They want no
association with him, but it's so funny. At the end of the day, I think, and I was thinking about this earlier too. It's so crazy when you're like a big company like that, when you actually put someone as your face for that product or whatever it is that you're selling. Because if that person does something that the public hate, then you'll receive all the backlash. Because the public's not going to go in Jared's pocket. They're going to take out of, Subway's pocket.
Well, they're going to take out of both pockets because Jared loses his job and Subway loses business.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's interesting because and if you know anything about contracts, they do put a lot of the times in these contracts a moral clause. So if you do something like this, they have every right to let you go and you can't question it.
Yeah, exactly. But at the end of the day, they're still the face. The damage is done. So regardless of what, they fired him 3 years ago, we're still going to see him as the face of Subway. And if more stuff starts coming out, because, this doesn't end there. There's going to be more and more that's going to come out within the next few weeks.
Oh, God. So that's why I'm so wary about text messaging. And I'm wary also about sending nude photos online through text, any of that. I don't do it, but many people do it.
Yeah, they don't understand the repercussions of it. At the end of the day, it's like, look at all these celebrities, their sex tapes come out, and there's not sex tape that they film while they were a celebrity. It's films or it's taped like before they even became famous, before they wasn't known.
Well, look,
And it's like anything you put out there in the universe, it always comes back. It's like about tweet. Even if you take down the tweet and delete that tweet, it's always gonna come back. Somebody saved it. Somebody screenshot it. Somebody did something.
especially in this day and age, you can't avoid. I mean, that's why you have to be. I mean, I always keep saying I do have my moments where I go on a rant on Twitter, and I don't delete them. I just leave them there because I know even if I delete them, it's still there. But I always think, okay, there are certain people, celebrities that I'll talk about on Twitter, like, why is this person, blah, 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 blah. I know later on in my career, 10 years from now, I might be doing a TV show or whatever it may be, and people are like, look at this tweet Kemp sent how many years ago, and blah, 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 blah.
Ooh, can you mention names?
Yes.
I'll still remember that tweet that Tamar hit you up with.
Oh, let's not bring it up now.
Oh.
I think a lot of people, but that wasn't even my fault. We had an intern tweeting from our radio Twitter, and if you don't realize, we also have the radio show where the podcast would be broadcast from, KEMPIREradio.com. We had the intern tweeting, and she was adding Tamar. So Tamar's getting this message, and she's responding.
It wasn't even me. I was reading her radio. Voice. Can we go back to those tweets? Oh my god.
No, really? You want to bring this right back up? No, yeah. So, I mean, I hope Tamar has gotten over it.
Yeah, we have.
I mean, she likes to hold on to her grudge. But I'm not holding anything against Tamar. I hope she's not holding anything against it. How do we get on this Tamar topic?
Well, we're talking about tweets and,
I mean, there are some tweets, and I say this right now. There are some tweets that I have tweeted in the past that may be derogatory to certain celebrities. And if we end up working together or meeting, I don't want you coming in my face, throwing those tweets in my face. What I said, I said what I said.
I said what I said. Yes, it's crazy how that works though. Like any quotes, anything you have said, it not be like, let's say something I said 10 years ago, it not necessarily mean what I'm thinking today.
Exactly.
Just like some comments, like, people was throwing in a few things about Donald Trump. I mean, let's not talk about Donald Trump, but, they brought up stuff that he said in 1989, and it's just crazy, right?
Yeah, but they also bring up some of this stupidity that he said a couple of weeks ago about Mexicans raping people.
Oh, Donald.
He just said that the other day.
Yeah, that was a bad example.
He's doing very well though in the polls.
Yeah,
he's doing extremely well
because people love a freak show. That's why.
Oh God, do you think people actually vote for him though? Will he become the Republican candidate for president?
There's a high possibility because it's once again he is high on the polls. Mm-hmm. We just have to see who keeps running. I mean, there's a lot of them running right now.
Yeah, there are definitely a lot of different candidates. Right now, Hillary Clinton is the go-to person for the Democrats. But right now, the Republicans have several different people trying to apply for this the Republican position for the presidency. Mm-hmm. But right now, Donald Trump is doing extremely well in the numbers. So it's very possible that he might have a chance. But it'll be interesting to see who will go out and actually vote for him to be the Republican candidate.
Yeah, that'll be a different story. I mean, there's still a long time till then. And I think once again, it just goes to that people love a show. People love what he's saying in a sense, but I don't think he's going to win. I don't think he's going to go anywhere. Just look at Sarah Palin. Look how far she lasted. It just people love like a freak show.
Yeah, she almost was in the White House. It went all the way there. But yeah, so I don't know. This whole social media situation, social media, it really has become this powerful source for people to share their opinions. Unfortunately, it's almost gotten out of control.
Yeah.
And I don't know how we can backtrack from that.
Yeah, it's crazy to think like where we at versus like 10 years ago. You know.
But at the same time, there are a lot of positives to social media. You're able to gain access to celebrities that you never did before. Celebrities use it as a press release now. You can promote. They utilize, the social media followings and things like that when it comes to chart positions for musicians. So they're implementing all of these different things because although musicians aren't getting the record sales like they used to, now they're incorporating, their success on social media. Are people talking about the song? Are people streaming the song? You know what I mean? So we're fastly changing the way that we view social media. It's just also people are sharing their opinions, like ratchet opinions too, just kind of like.
Yeah, you ever have that one Facebook friend that has an opinion about everything, and
Oh my
it's
God.
like every hour on the hour, it's like they're mentioning something, and it's makes me wanna. Well, you know what I do? I just unfollow them, whatever.
Yeah, I just but because it's Facebook now, you can just kind of not have to follow their feed. They don't have to be on your feed or whatever it may be.
Dead silence.
But we talked about a lot, and I hope you
So-
guys enjoyed. This was the first episode, first podcast via KEMPIRE Radio. It's called The First Bitch of the Day with Joe Paradise and the KEMPIRE. You already know me, I hope. And we only allowed Joe to get the name first because he gave a big old temper tantrum about it.
Exactly. What it really comes down to is I should be first in everything.
If you enjoyed the show, just make sure you follow us and everything like that. You can follow us on our Facebook, facebook.com, the number one, FB TD. Oh wait, so facebook.com, the number one, FBOTD. First bitch of the day.
FBOTD. Number one. FBTOD. Obviously, for first bitch of the day.
And if you want to let us know what you want us to talk about, what are you bitching about? We will definitely talk about it. Is this going to be our morning show? We haven't decided on how many days of the week, or once a week, or once a month, or once a year. We haven't decided on how it's going to be. But definitely let us know what you're bitching about, and maybe we might just talk about it here on First Bitch of the Day with Joe Paradise and the KEMPIRE.
Woo-hoo, that was nice, y'all.
Thanks for tuning in to KEMPIRE Radio's First Bitch of the Day with Joe Paradise and the KEMPIRE. Don't forget to follow us on all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Everything is the number one, BOTD. And make sure you subscribe when it hits iTunes.